my God, you guys. What did I just watch? Josh, Bailey, let's get into this. All right, a little technical difficulties at the beginning there, but we got into it. Oh, I'm flush with excitement over this one, you guys. Anyway, welcome back to Paul's Collectibles, Book of Boba Fett breakdown. From the desert comes a stranger. I got Josh, I got Bailey with me, and we are excited to talk about this latest episode of Book of whatever the heck we're looking at this point. But before we get started, Josh, how are you doing, sir? It's good to see you.
I'm doing okay, man. I was having a great day, and then I went and got my eyes checked, and I've apparently graduated to bifocals. So, yay.
You know what that is? That's karma for making fun of how old I am.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. Anyway, but did you renew that AARP membership? I'm just asking. You know?
I did, and I got the discount since I'm a tenured member now, smarty pants.
There we go. Okay.
Bailey, good to see you, ma'am. Good to see you back. It's good to have you back. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm hanging in there, guys. Education is rough, so yeah. It is a rough business right now.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna pair to your microphone here so we sound good. Okay, and we're good. All right. Well, good. You know what? My brother Alan stood in for you as best he could last week, Bailey.
Did great. Yeah.
Well, thank you. He's an entertaining guy, but you know he has the right last name, but he's no Bailey, so it's good to see. Before we get started on anything, I have to apology I need to make, and I need to thank somebody. First of all, I need to thank Linda Borum, who's my mod down in the comment, because she pointed out to me something interesting that happened last episode. Apparently 3 people, or maybe more, I was pretty sure it was Tina, Darth Wizzy Wizard, and 1 or 2 others accidentally got silenced or muted or blocked or whatever it's called. And that's my fault. And I owe you guys an apology if you're in the chat. And if any of you know them and they're not in the chat tonight, if you could relay that to them, because what had happened was I was trying to figure out how to make mods a couple of episodes ago. And my buddy KC, who you see in the comments a lot, his would show up when I was typing it in. So I made him a mod and I kept going, but I never told him. So last episode, he's wandering around with his phone live and active, because you have to do that with YouTube, listening to us with it in his pocket, walking his dog. And his moderator status is randomly muting people or something in the chat. So that's my bad. I'm sorry about that. Nobody was in trouble from last episode. So
that's the power of the wrench right there, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm such an idiot. So, but with that, let's get over to the comments real quick, see who's crazy enough to join us. John's Super Awesome Geek Show, still awake?
Hey, John.
Bailey, got your back up.
Hi, Shanti.
Hey, Shanti.
Hey, Shanti. All right, let's get on down here. Chat legend Gilster. Good to see you, buddy.
Gilster.
Hey, Dino.
Hey, Dino.
Hi, Dino.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I can pretend. I should have had these shirts tailored for you. Sorry.
Hey, crazy.
Crazy. I hope Bailey's doing okay.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. That's where we're going with this one, Dina. Boba who? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow, the chat jumped again. Let's see here. Crazy geek. Wow, you guys. Oh, hey, Scalinorian Saber.
Hey, Galinorian.
Good to see you. G-Force.
G-Unit.
Yeah. And then of course, pew pew. Hey, some people actually got shot this episode.
A few.
Yeah, just a couple. Linda, it's good to see you. Thank you for saving me last week. She's warned me. She's like, hey, I don't think that's supposed to happen. So she fixed it. So let's get on down the road here. So, hey, Paul, and as always, she never forgets, is Bailey and Josh. So.
Hi, Linda.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. Christian's up at 1,300 o'clock. Yeah. Good evening, boys and girls.
Never sleeps.
I know, right? Well, that's what happens when you have a new baby, I suppose, right? Just want to see everyone's smiley faces. Okay, that was creepy. Linda, it's good to see you back. Bailey.
Thank you, Linda.
Michael, my oldest. Good to see Bailey back.
Michael.
Man,
Thank you, Michael.
I got a lot of PayPals going out this week, if you know what I'm saying. Everybody say something nice. Peter, good to see you.
Hey, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Flex is in the house. Josh, you're getting old. All right, you know how we do. Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete.
Always. Man. Yeah, it's almost like a couple of people actually like watching us, you guys. I don't even know what's going on. No doubt. I screwed that up bad. Jason, you're not late. As you can see, I'm still trying to figure out how to run stuff. Good to see you. Wow. All right. Coming on down.
We
Okay,
probably
I
have
think-
twice as many if you hadn't blocked all of them.
We blocked everybody.
Hey, Buzza.
So if you guys see Tina or Wizzy Wiz or whatever, especially if any of you know him, like I said, or if Linda, if you see him, can you apologize to him for me? Because I'm an idiot. Oh my God. Oh, but anyway, we've been on live for coming up on 6 minutes and I'm just rambling. So we're going to get into this. And Josh, I'm gonna start with you. And I'm gonna throw this up. See, I can't even speak. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What'd you think, brother? Right off the bat.
I mean, this was
Right?
it was a great start to a great episode. I was really happy to see Cobb Vanth come back into it. I really loved his character. And I loved that we got to see that he's a total badass without any armor on. And it was just, oh man, everything about this episode was what I've been wanting. So yeah.
I didn't
Well,
realize
it's
how
what I've been
scrawny-
wanting, but then not. But we'll get into that later.
Right, yeah. I didn't realize how scrawny and skinny he was until we get this scene. I'm
Yeah, he
like,
looks like he's lost a little weight or something since then.
he does. Oh my God. We'll move over to you in just a second, Billy, but I want to say hi to there's Wilcom.
Hey, Wilkins.
It's good to see you. Rolando has snuck in on us
Rolando.
as well. So always good to see you guys. Bailey, we didn't do anything for The Mandalorian, so I don't get a lot of your thoughts on The Mandalorian show. But when we started off with this great scene, at least in my opinion, with the Spice Runners, what'd you think?
Oh, I knew I was gonna have a great time. I was just like, yes, like this is gonna be a good episode.
Nice. Yeah, I got a kick out of this one for sure. So he guns down the Spice Runners, and if that isn't like the biggest thing of foreshadowing that you're just gonna get, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Love Timothy Oliphant for sure. Linda, yeah always, new Cobb Vanth figure. Now we need one without the armor.
Yeah,
right?
no armor, no, exactly.
And he's got to have a blaster hole right here in his shoulder somewhere. Oh, we're too far jumping ahead there. Yeah.
We'll get there.
Okay. Cobb,
No, it was-
he needs to eat a few Bantha burgers for sure. Old boy was looking thin.
Well, he's not wearing all that armor. It kept him bulked up. That's what it is. He's lost the extra from that.
He looked thin in the armor when he walked into the
He
door.
did look kind of
Mandalorian. I was
yeah.
like, that's not a real Mandalorian. So.
But he's got, it's that lean, lanky, spaghetti Western Clint Eastwood kind of appeal. And that's what I loved about the whole scene. I love how he walked up there and he's, I'm the marshal around these parts, and you better do as I say or get out of here. And of course they didn't, and here we go.
I got a kick out of the fact he's like, I don't know what arrangement you have with the people in Mos Espa, and let's just be honest, anything goes in Mos Eisley. And I'm like, we're starting to get an idea of how the politics and things work on Tatooine, since we're just apparently going to stay here on every Star Wars show ever, right, Bailey?
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. I mentioned that last week. I'm like, we went back to Tatooine to go see Pelimato because as Bailey puts it, the entire Star Wars world revolves around Tatooine. Yeah. Cobb Vanth is my favorite in this episode, next to Cad Bane for sure. You guys know how I feel about this. Josh, we mentioned it going into here, but Bailey, are you getting? So you weren't here last week where we got a little bit of prequel love with the Naboo N1. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the ship and what we're getting when he's flying around. What do you think?
Oh, I absolutely love it. That is like the coolest ship. I've always loved the Naboo Starfighter. I always thought those were really sleek and cool looking ships, and I just think it's brilliant. And how it's modified to like there's even a little space for Grogu, and like it's a very sleek ship, and it's very I love it. I think it's fantastic, and it's definitely something can't wait to see in stores. Like in Lego form and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, Josh, you know my thoughts on this. What did you think of, especially the angles we're getting here?
Oh, I love it. I love you get that same the crotch shot, as we love you love the crotch shots. But no, I love the ship. I love that they were able to maintain the sleek look and design of the original craft, but then make it just mean. And it fits Mando. Like I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really quick, Papa Gord slipped in on us. Good to see you, Gordo.
Hey, Papa.
Yeah, Scuba. Lego, you say? Scuba's sliding down that Lego slide quickly as well, Bailey.
Yeah.
So you may,
Once it gets you, you're done. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I don't even start, you guys. The helmets and the figures is enough for me. Oh, Tina, it's good to see you. I'm glad
Hi,
you're
Tina.
not. She's not blocked apparently, so sorry about that last week. Go back on the rewind if you didn't catch my explanation. I apologize for that. It wasn't supposed to happen last week. So we go right from the battle between him and the Spice Runners, and then the next thing we see obviously is the crotch shot. They could play 2 hours with those things, and I would love. It's just like watching him fly. And Josh, we'll start out with you this time. He heads somewhere, we're not quite sure, but I'm guessing, and it turns out to be another lush planet. He lands, and we get to see an old friend. What did you think of this, Josh?
Oh, I mean, come on, it's R2. It's the hero of Star Wars. Of course, I was very happy to see him. I was a little disappointed that there was no technology around for him to randomly plug into, just because that's what he does, is just get fresh with strange computers. But yeah, no, he's just chilling there, and seemed like he was looking for somebody. So it makes me wonder if maybe Luke hadn't said, "Hey, I think we're going to get a visitor soon," or someone else. I don't know. We'll see. There were a couple people hanging around there that might have had a feeling. But no, it was good to see R2.
Nice.
Always.
Bailey, when you saw R2, did you have an idea of where we were going next? And if so, what did you think of this?
Oh, I knew I was going to have a really good time because then I knew who was attached to R2. So yeah, I mean, this episode was my jam, y'all. So yeah, I saw R2 and I knew I was going to have a great time.
Nice. I got a kick out of it as well. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, because last episode we predicted that this would be put off. Because I thought, frankly, it was going to be more comprehensive. But we're in the middle of this. I've got my bag of popcorn and my soda. I'm like, we're doing it. All right.
Yeah, I was shocked that they jumped right to it. I really was. And it kind of helped to put the show in perspective a little bit. So, or at least the series as a whole and how it really falls into things. So I appreciated that they went ahead and continued on with that story.
Yeah. I was not excited about the fact that we might have to wait till next season. And so, although this isn't Book of Boba Fett anymore, I was still happy to get this. And Jay makes a good point. First of all, Jay, it's good to see
Jay.
you. But talking about feeding the fans, well, it's the care and feeding of the good Star Wars fan. So.
But it wasn't fan service. That's the thing.
Right.
It's like I don't like when they're just Easter eggs for the sake of Easter eggs in order to distract people from the fact that the rest of what they're watching is terrible. I like when there's actually something there that serves the purpose of the story, and I feel like this serves the story. It progresses the story, and I was very happy.
Nice. Yeah, and I agree too, because at times I feel like, well, they just threw that in there because they knew my idiot self would like it, but this felt necessary. So I get a kick out of this, you guys, because it's fun to see stuff that we've only heard about. And Bailey, I know the Space Wizards are your jam, so I'd like to go to you on this one. When you saw the building of Luke's Jedi Temple, how did you feel?
Even more excited. Like, I really just wanted to be like, yeah, like, just show me Luke. Funny enough, before I saw this episode, again, guys, sometimes working at a school sucks sometimes, and kids are awful and they'll spoil things for you. So like, I knew this was coming. So like when I saw this, I just was like, all right, like let's get into it. But it was really cool to see. I'm also curious, and I don't know if anyone knows, but what planet they're on exactly. But yeah, no, I got excited.
You know what I saw? It is named somewhere. I saw one of the YouTube reviews on it where they named the planet, but I've since forgotten. Josh, do you know the name of the planet?
No, I do not know.
Yeah, fair enough. Apparently, G-Force says these are real Boston Dynamic robots too. They looked familiar, so that might make sense. So that'll be 2 Boston Dynamics robots we've seen in this. So I thought that was interesting. And of course, you know what? Really quick, your backup's here. Josh, now you're good too. The ice cream machine.
Yes, the ice cream machine was back.
Yes, way at the end too. So, Tina's. Yeah, it's a name I've never heard before for sure, but I don't remember what it was either. So, yeah, John, it's Bamboo Planet. Come on, guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Bamboo Planet. It's a whole new world. Too soon?
It really is. Yeah.
All I could think while I was watching them build it was, man, what a waste. That's just going to all get burned to the ground. It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's all I saw was its future and being in rubble and ash.
And that's weird too, now that you think about it. Yeah, because we know what happens to all this stuff. It's almost heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. And Josh, I mentioned this going in here as well. R2 going to R2, right? As soon as he gets there, he's like, and I'm off.
Yep. Took a little nap. That's all. Yeah. A droid nap. He's old, man. Come on, give him a break. He gets tired. They walked a long way. All that dirt and everything. Can't be good for the treads. He needed a break.
Right. Bailey, did you get a kick out of R2? He's the pragmatic pain in the butt of all the droids. Are you enjoying this?
Oh, and that's why we love him. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Right. I thought Mando was going to smack him like C-3PO did, and that was going to be like a super callback. But yeah, so hold on. There's Casey. Good to see you. Just joining, heading home from Disneyland, getting a dark stare. Did Josh say anything stupid yet?
I'm sure I have. Yeah, I'm sure.
We're only 16 minutes in. He's got plenty of time. So, oh yeah, everyone needs a nap once in a while. That's for sure. No, this isn't Octo, is it?
No.
Octo is something else. Yeah, no. I heard the name, and if I hear it again, I'll remember.
But the temple is very similar to those temples as far as how they're built.
Right. Yeah,
I think
and that's
what said Yavin 4. Is that the planet the Death Star was hovering over?
Yeah, we know it's not Yavin 4. I guess in Legends, it's now Legends. That's where Luke put the temple, but in canon, it's not Yavin 4 anymore. So,
all right,
yeah.
so we just don't know.
Yeah, it's in there. I should have looked it up. I'm sorry. Where was it? I saw it just a second ago. Oh yeah. So John brings up a point that I wanted to talk to you about. Waiting seems to be a theme in Star Wars, Bailey. And they built the man a bench and let him sit there. What did you think of that?
Oh, I wasn't surprised. None of it was surprising. And I figured that I knew like immediately, and we're gonna get into it in just a second. I knew that there was gonna be like a separation between Din and Grogu still. Like I figured that they weren't actually gonna interact. But we'll get into that later. So I was not surprised that they were going to be separated still. Yeah, we needed to see what was going on with Grogu. And yeah, I just wasn't surprised that he wasn't like immediately brought to Luke and Grogu. I knew he was going to wait.
That makes sense. Josh, I was a little confused when I was watching this. What did you get out of this when they made him sit on a bench and he fell asleep?
Well, I mean, I think to a certain extent it was them toying with him. I think that they knew that he was coming, and they were like, okay, let's see how much he really wants to do what he's here for. Let's test his patience to a certain extent. I mean, they even tried to make it comfy. They put some leaves on there. It was nice. So yeah, I think they may have been, specifically may have been Ahsoka kind of just messing around with him a little bit.
Right. Yeah, Ed Dragon Buddy, good to see you. He put R2 sitting down is the most. That's the most R2 thing he could have done. Yeah, all right, I'm out. Yeah, deuces.
Peace.
Yeah, all right, bye. Did that? And either of you guys can jump in on this, and then we'll move on because I wanted to touch on this a little bit more. Did that remind you of the same thing that Yoda did to Luke when he got to Dagobah that one time? See how serious he is.
Yes.
Yeah,
like patience is very essential to like the Jedi way, just how they think. So, and it just goes into the lesson that they were kind of telling Din and Grogu is like the whole thing about attachment and just being, like, hey, like do a little self-reflection type thing. Like, who are you really here for? And so yeah, no, I was again just not surprised that they would still be separated because this whole episode just revolves around, hey, where are your priorities? And understand that with great power comes responsibility, and also the whole like, hey, if you love somebody, you gotta let them. Yeah, I was not surprised. Let them go.
That's very well put. This is an episode about priorities. What are your priorities? Yes. That's a damn good point. Really quick, Christian, you're gonna have to take that up with KC, who's in the chat. He made the shirts. I'm happy to have the shirts. So I think it's but the A looks good too. I mean, these are some snappy shirts. So thank you very much, Casey. But you guys can fight about it in the chat. All righty. Okay. So here's the deal. He falls asleep and a bunch of people are talking about, what's more comfortable than bamboo armor and leaves, right? And from there, after he sits down, I don't have words when this popped up because I just didn't expect it. Josh, come on, man. Where you at?
Oh, dude, come on. Yeah. I mean, it was epic. This was space wizardry at its best. And it was just a, very great, like master student moment. It was a very Zen moment, them just sort of meditating in this very calm environment, very serene. And the little Grogu, of course, being Grogu and not really paying attention like he should, and Luke trying to be the patient master, and of course it's Luke, and he looked amazing. So I have zero complaints.
You know what? Gallinarian Saber puts a good legendary. Bailey, when the next scene we get is Luke freaking Skywalker, and Grogu sitting on the hill. What did you think? What was going on in your head?
I was so happy to see Luke. This version of Luke Skywalker has always been my favorite version of Luke Skywalker, and it's so nice to see Luke Skywalker just in his prime, like him as like this confident Jedi Master. Where sequel we don't see that at all, and then in the movie we just saw it briefly. So it's just so awesome. It's like a childhood dream come true almost to see Luke in this way of him like training somebody and just like really confident in his power, and we get to see that green lightsaber again later. So no, I was very happy and just blown away by how realistic he looks. I mean, it really looks like Mark Hamill was playing Luke Skywalker again. So yeah, it's amazing. It's freaky what they can do, and I'm just so glad that they were able to give us that nice upgrade, and I love everything about this.
Right. Josh on the Wind, we talked about how they got this, the guy from YouTube. Do you want to touch on that real fast?
Yeah, I mean, basically they did it in The Mandalorian, and it looked good. I mean, I still can't complain. I mean, everything about it was epic, but yeah, it looked a little bit off, and this guy did a deep fake on YouTube, and they're like, hey, come make it look better. And I thought that was awesome. I think it's great that they're actually looking out there for the talent and willing to pick it up when they see it.
Yeah, that's my Lucasfilm right there, looking up for them little nuggets of people out there that they can snap up. Because Pete puts it right. His name is Shamook, I guess. But his deep fake on YouTube was 10 times better than what they had. They're like, well, come work for us, buddy. Yeah.
Can you imagine? You can tell the difference. I mean, the improvement is drastic, and it's amazing.
It's off the chain. Every now and then I would get a little bit of uncanny valley from his eyes, but this was so convincing. It was like, holy crap, this is awesome. Yeah. I've got some questions in here. I agree, Shanti. It was so seamless the way they did. But Geek Strong Dino here is asking, and a couple of people said it. Did you guys get a feeling that Luke should be a little older, or did this look pretty much right to you?
Yeah, I mean, Luke's he's not even 30 years old at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think he looks fine.
Because I did not get that. I mean, it looked like he's aged a little. His hair's getting a little darker and it's a little more under control. But I didn't expect him to look, the Obi-Wan thing is what throws everybody off. I think I'd like to see if they could explain that. Am I right, Bailey? When we get to the Kenobi series, hopefully they talk about that a little.
Well, in Kenobi, and I don't know if they're going to carry that on in the canon, but in the Kenobi book, the reason why he aged the way he did is people on Tatooine are like, hey, if you bake in the Tatooine sun, you'll be like unrecognizable. So he did that on purpose, is he would sunbake himself so that he wouldn't be recognizable. So that's why he aged so quickly.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Well, hopefully they address that then, because I thought he looked perfect as well.
I just figured it was all the stress.
Well, that too. I don't think it helped, no.
Right.
The voice, of course, great.
Yeah, a bunch of people are mentioning, and we didn't even see it coming last week, Josh. The X-Wing pilot is his body double. We should have known. They had him on set, Luke, here comes Luke, because it's his body double again. So, yeah. Wow.
But I like that they gave him some FaceTime on the series as well, like for the actual actor. So that was good. Good for him.
I'd play an X-Wing pilot with one line in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. That would be awesome.
I would just walk by in the background. I don't even need a line.
Do your George Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Bailey, so we get what I like to call the training montage, but it's at least a video montage. It's not just a bunch of pictures. But I got a kick out of this scene, and I know that this is something that obviously speaks to you because you're super into the Space Wizards. But we get what I call the Yoda Talk. Tell me what's going on here and what you thought of him discussing history.
Oh, I love this scene. I mean, this whole episode is just so beautiful and seamless with all the callbacks, and it's what's going on here is Luke is just walking. I say walking loosely because he's using the Force to kind of push Grogu along, which was very funny. And this is the kind of humor I like in Star Wars, where it's just subtle, like it's just like come on. But he's talking about Yoda, like, hey, you remind me of this great mastermind Yoda, and he's really echoing a lot of what Yoda has told him in the past. And I just think it's so, stuff like this is always so heartwarming, because it's like, whether you're a fan of the originals or prequels and whatnot, what he was saying is, we all love Yoda, and he has great advice, and he's literally passing on what he's learning, and that is what Jedi training is you're just passing on what you've learned. And it's great to see actual like Jedi training, I feel, because it's something we never really got to see. Like in Empire Strikes Back, yes, I think that's where we saw that, but everywhere else, not really. So this was just so nice to see, very refreshing. And it just goes to show that the Jedi aren't like these, they're not like warriors per se. I mean, they have the power, but they are peacekeepers. And I really like to like the training is just, it's very reflective, I should say, very self-reflective. And I just think it's great. He's just he's rebuilding the Jedi Order, and he's, just passing on the very little information he has about the Jedi to Grogu. And I just thought this was great. It was a really good scene.
Nice. Josh, obviously I'd love to have you talk about what you got from this scene, but specifically, by now are you getting the same feeling that I'm getting, which is, why the hell aren't we getting this in Book of Boba Fett?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we are.
Fair enough.
It's just the Book of Boba Fett also is part of the bigger book of the story that they're telling, which I don't know if that's the Book of the Mandalorian or if it's something else entirely. And we don't really know, and I think that's kind of exciting at this point. I'm totally okay with it. It's okay to step away from the title character sometimes if it serves the purpose of the narrative that you're trying to tell. And I mean, I totally dig in the whole Crouching Tiger, Hidden Jedi look of this whole yeah. I mean, it's just cool. It's just such a callback to those old school, samurai action flick sort of with the bamboo forest and everything, and you've got the master and student strolling through and teaching him these wise ways and sort of metaphorical riddles. And he himself may not have been the one throwing the riddles out, but he was talking about the riddle master himself. So yeah, I mean, it was just it was a great scene, and him talking about Yoda to Grogu, and I loved every bit of it.
I thought it was awesome. Before we go on to the next scene, I wanted to point something out. I don't know how much time is supposed to have elapsed during the scenes where he's in the forest with him at different parts, but half the time Luke is wearing riding boots that apparently look like they Velcro on the back, and he's got a belt buckle on and like a tunic. The other half of the time, he's wearing black tennis shoes with black wraps, no belt buckle, and a black karate gi. If you pay close attention, I caught that, and I don't know why little things like that make such a big deal to me, but I thought that was interesting. So.
Well, and it's also possible some of what we're watching may have happened before Mando even landed.
Oh, good point. Very good point. Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. We've had a lot of people sneak in, and if I didn't, there's Dave Richards, a bunch of new names and stuff in here. Hectorlorian jumped in, a bunch of other people. So, yeah, it's good to have all you guys. I really appreciate it. They're going by so fast that I can't keep up anymore. So
you need bifocals, man.
Dude, don't even get me started. Right? Those I don't have the AARP insurance. Okay, I'll get to that. Yeah, that's a good point, Jeff. Maybe mini flashbacks. Maybe it's not all chronological, which you would think by now I would be used to. Oh, Mr. B jumped in too. Good to see you.
Hey, Walt.
Hope you're feeling better, Bailey.
Hanging in there. Thank you.
Yeah, Bailey, this is your scene. He reaches down and says, "Hey, do you even remember your past?" And wow, tell me about it, girl. What's going on?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know how many times we're gonna have to relive Order 66, y'all, but here we are. So yeah, as always, I mean, as beautiful as the scene is, it's so sad. Order 66 hurts just the same, regardless of what show it's in and what format it's in. I didn't know this until this morning, but this hallway is actually the same hallway that Anakin and Barasafi fought in the Clone Wars. Oh. And I only know this, but there's like an Easter egg somewhere in here, and I think someone had to really light this picture up. But her door with her crest is in this hallway. So the theories are just going off the chain just from this hallway alone, this location, and the possibility of who exactly saved Grogu. But yeah. this was, it's sad, it hurts, but again, like, space wizards are my jam, y'all, and this is what I know. So this was really cool to see.
Very, very true. Josh, how'd this hit you, bro?
Oh man, it was great. It hit me where I live.
Right.
Seeing the 501st there, just blasting down Jedi, and it was just it was rough. But yeah, like Dragon Buddy was saying, Grogu's seen some stuff. That poor little guy's got some serious PTSD, and I want to see what happens next. I really do. I mean, I hate for him to have to go through the trauma of it again, but I got to see. So yeah, I was very intrigued by everything around this whole flashback. This is a flashback I am totally all about.
Right.
Throw that kid in the back to tank. I need more.
Right. Yeah. It is. We need to get in that Wayback Machine. For me, it's haunting because you can see this is the edge of his little pram right here. And, you're seeing it through his eyes, and they did such a good job of really transferring that abject terror, of him watching his masters be slaughtered in front of him. Bailey, the last part of this scene is the Jedi falls and the lightsaber rolled out. Come on, girl. Mm-hmm. What was going on in your head?
It sucks. I mean, like, it sucks, no matter what we're seeing it, whether it's Fallen Order, Bad Batch, Revenge of the Sith, it sucks. Grogu is literally seeing these people that are essentially his family, these people who have taught him and loved him and take care of him. They're gone. And, before Order 66 happened, I don't think, kind of like how, like, young Anakin said, like, no one can kill a Jedi. I think this was a shock for little Grogu to see these people that he found to be so powerful just being gunned down by people they thought were their friends. So yeah, poor little guy. It's a very haunting image to see that lightsaber go down.
Right. A lot of people are asking, and if anybody knows, Bailey, it's going to be you. We don't have any idea who these three Jedi are, do we? You can't tell. Yeah.
No.
I saw some supposition online as to who this guy might be, but then somebody else said, no, this is the guy that you can see in a Revenge of the Sith holocron footage of the security cameras being killed by Anakin. So it's not the same guy. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, you'd have to really know the lightsabers. And even then, I think it's just, they're probably anonymous Jedi. Is that probably accurate?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be anyone that we would recognize from, like, the Clone Wars and whatnot, because everyone's, like, dispersed off-world. So I think the people that we see on the temple are kind of like the scholars and the caretakers and the elderly and the children. So yeah, they're all going to be anonymous, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw a lot of that too. It's Mace, but then he dies after saving Grogu. We'll see, Andy. By the way, welcome, Andy. It's good to see you. That's jumping ahead, but I'm already seeing a lot of this. Max wasn't in the bar scene, so Max Rebo lives.
I've got a whole theory about that. I'm calling it right now that Max Rebo is a secret force sensitive being, and he was raised by Twi'leks, and so he's got an affinity for them. So he saved Bib Fortuna on the sail barge with the Force, and then he's going to save Garsa Fwip as well, because Jennifer Beals, and then so Max is the secret hero of Star Wars. Just so you guys know.
Him and R2D2 are running stuff from behind, right?
Or maybe he's a Sith Lord. I don't know. Darth Rebo.
JT cracks me up. The Jedi are from left to right: Cannon Fodder, Dead Duck, and Tony. Yeah, exactly, JT. We have no idea who they are for sure.
Dead Jedi number 1, Dead Jedi number 2, and Dead Jedi number 3.
Oh my goodness. Bailey, Josh, I'm not trying to ignore you on this one, but this has so much of Bailey's jam that I'm getting a kick out of starting with her and then going over to you. So we're going to go right back to Bailey on this one. Jumping back and forth, we get the scene. Grogu wakes up and he says, hey, welcome back and everything like that. And then we jump back to Mando. I did not see this coming, Bailey. First of all, tell me if you saw it coming. And second of all, what did you think? Pow, look who's here.
No, I did not see this coming, but I feel kind of stupid saying that because I knew it was directed by Dave Filoni and Ahsoka is like his creation. So like I guess I should have seen it coming. But the reason why I say no is like the context of Ahsoka being around here for rebuilding the new Jedi Order. I am shocked to like see her kind of like involved in that, and that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no, this was like okay. Like, I mean, again, I wouldn't call this fan service either. Like it as surprised as I was, it made sense. Ahsoka meeting Luke or Leia or having any sort of connection with Anakin's kids is something I've been wanting and hoping to see. And this is great. Her live action look still is something for me to get used to because Ahsoka, I always see her in animated form, but no, this is nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, I'm a friend of the family. Come on, man.
Man,
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I was definitely surprised by this. And yeah, I mean, it might have been a little fan servicey or whatever, but for me, it's all about the implications of this. How long has she been there? How long has she known Luke? How long has I'm certain that she's probably met Leia at this point, or there's probably a good chance. What has she told them about their father? I mean, there's so much potential there. I could literally watch an hour-long episode of just them, or 2-hour episode of just them sitting there around a fire and her just telling them about their dad. I mean, it's what Star Wars is all about. It's about family at its core. That's why we connect to Star Wars. Yes, we love the spectacle. Yes, we love the visuals, but it's the emotional core of it that we all find universal and we all come together on. And a big part of that is family, and I would love for them to know more about where they come from and who their father really was before he became the villain that they knew.
Right. And they just give you just that little morsel, you know what I mean? As she talks later on, which we'll talk about, just like your dad. I mean, I was like, come on, man.
Yeah,
this is too cool for us. Yeah. Oh, Bailey, I'm going to keep picking on you because I know it's not really picking on you because this is your stuff. I was so happy to see this episode.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. If there's anybody who knows about the inner workings of what's going on in Ahsoka and also Barriss Offee's mind, it's you. You've impressed me with your knowledge. And you kind of hinted on it. I find it interesting that she's at the place where they're going to rebuild the Jedi Order basically the exact same way that kind of, for lack of a better way to put it, screwed her. What's going on? Why is she there? What did you think of that?
I mean, I would argue the whole screwing her part. I mean, it was Ahsoka's choice to leave. They did apologize and they did offer her a position back. She just made that choice to leave. And she did, in the Clone Wars, I think she was considering, going back to who she was. But I say I'm surprised that she's involved in this is because of just to her, the Jedi Order that she knew and loved is gone. It's like her whole family's dead. And for many years she's been kind of doing her own thing. And I do like that. So what Ahsoka is up to is pretty ambiguous, and maybe we'll get more into it with her own show. I always thought that if Ahsoka had a relationship with the Skywalker twins, or the next generation of Jedi, it would be this where she'd be around to see what's up and maybe give some advice, but she would keep it at an arm's length, just because for her own sanity, I think, of just this kind of a tough subject for her, and I think she wants to pass on what she's learned, but at the same time it's I'm sure as happy as she is to see Luke Skywalker, it probably does kill her a little bit. She's probably thinking of her time with Anakin as a kid. So I'm just surprised that she is around because of what she has to work through to be involved in that. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I would imagine that Luke probably sought her out. I would think that I would think that once the battle was over and the dust settled and he was able to actually start focusing on rebuilding the Jedi Order, I would imagine that he sought out Force-sensitive beings. He may have gone to Tython himself and done something similar to what Grogu did and maybe called Ahsoka to him. And that's why Ahsoka knew to tell them about that. And then it's also, I think that it's really exciting what it could mean as far as the storytelling is concerned. And I do think that there's probably a good chance that he told her everything that happened with Vader. And I'm sure that she's probably blinded a little bit right now by the hope that the son of Anakin, the one that brought him back from the darkness, is going to be able to build a better order. So I really feel like she's kind of being a little naive right now. And like I said, very hopeful that something good will come of this. But obviously we know how it turns out. So
It's so funny because
well, go ahead.
Josh.
I was just going to say that it's unfortunate too, seeing Luke sort of repeating some of these same mistakes later in the episode. So yeah, it's
yeah. So first of all, welcome Mac Attack, and second of all, he says they need to make a Luke show. I think that's what we're getting now. So who knows what? Yeah, but this has been great. And of course, as you guys are well aware, anytime I take a drink from my bottle, Christian, who's fellow heavy drinker, likes to make fun of me and say that there's scotch in my bottle. And then of course, my wife always has to jump in. There's my Sarah. Good to see you. That's a big bottle of scotch. Yeah, it's water. That's why we have to keep this to 2 hours. I tell you, it's because Bailey has to work tomorrow. It's because I'm usually sauced by the end of these. So, oh my goodness. Let's see. Mostly still Jedi now. So let me make sure. Yeah, bringing back the no attachment rule. Thought maybe he would have. Yeah, I was. Yeah, some interesting choices specifically.
Luke's all about attachment. I mean, it was. He denied that part of the Jedi. That was how he brought Anakin back. So I would think that he would want to maybe amend that a little bit.
Yeah,
but I do like the duality between the juxtaposition of the Mandalorian ideals versus the Jedi, and I'm kind of curious how that's going to pan out later. I feel like it's important. They've made a point to kind of stress, how the Mandalorians see things and how the Jedi see things in the last couple of episodes.
Well, there's Peter saying, yeah, it was in the Star Wars comics that he went and sought out Force sensitives. So, but yeah, so that's a very good way to put that, Josh. That's most likely what happened. Here's Vi Bloyo Intenso. It's good to see you, man. Cheers. Yeah. So that for a brief moment there, the comments went off on the tangent of Paul likes to drink a lot, apparently. So sorry about that, guys. Josh, it's your turn to start this time. Okay.
Okay.
Because you and I like to talk about the helmet acting that Pedro Pascal is able to do, and this scene that I'm about to show, he was looking up at them on the hill when she finally said, well, come on down. I'm like, I know exactly what his facial expression looks like, and you can't even see him. And then he finally is like, wow, bro, did this like yank a little bit, or how are you feeling?
Oh yeah, no, it was totally emotional, man. I mean, I wanted him to go so badly, but at the same time, I understand why he shouldn't have gone, and I appreciate that he realized that. And yeah, like Bailey was saying earlier, that's very much part of what they were probably trying to do, is to give him some time to reflect on why he was there and whether he really should have been there to begin with. But I do love that he insisted that the gift be offered to Grogu. Now, what they do with it later, I think, is a little harsh. And again, that brings me back to, some things about the Jedi way, which, I mean, this could be part of why Luke feels the way he does by The Last Jedi, because
disagree.
he's, well, yeah. But
well, Bailey, come on in there. What you got?
Yeah.
I think, and the thing that I knew was going to happen when this episode was coming is people continue to just not understand what they're trying to say with the whole attachment thing. Is that, and George Lucas said it, is attachment is not like Jedi can love, Jedi can have sex, Jedi can have relationships. The problem is you choosing not to burn the entire galaxy down for one person. Like the ability to emotionally to accept that people are going to come and go. And y'all forget that Grogu is going to outlive Mando hundreds of years over. So what they're saying is Grogu has the ability, he could kill you with a thought. Like he has super psychic level 1000 wizard powers. He can do a lot with his mind. And with great power comes great responsibility. And that power has a lot to do with emotions. And if you're not able to harness that, and if you're not able to accept that people die and that people come and go, the Empire is the perfect example of what happens when somebody's inability to let go happens. So attachment is not the same as love, guys. Ahsoka and Luke are not saying that Grogu is not allowed to have a relationship with Din. What they're saying is the path that you're going down on is it is a hard life being a Jedi, and sometimes you're going to have to make hard choices. And guess what? You can't kill 100 people to save one life. And again, Grogu's going to outlive Mando. So, and
Well,
he
then
is
that
still a
makes all of these
child.
moments that much more valuable, though. They should understand
Correct.
that.
And that's what I'm saying. But like, and I get that, but this whole like slander of like, oh, this is why the Jedi fail. It's not that. It's just, attachment is not the same as love. And it's like, you do that in life, when you love somebody, sometimes it's not about you anymore. Sometimes you have to put your selfish desires away from someone else. Remember, this was Grogu's choice. Grogu chose to go with Luke. And this whole episode is they are constantly giving him the choice. You can have the relationship with the Mandalorian, but you can't have this. Because guess what? In life, you don't get everything. You make a choice. And that's what I don't get.
But it's either or. It's either or, and only the Sith deal in absolutes. So there you go. I don't know. I disagree.
I disagree.
This is why. Finally, I love you guys. I will tell you this, though, Bailey. Mac Attack is on your side. Amen, sister. Bailey's the voice of reason. Joe Blake Skywalker. Well spoken, Bailey. Christian. Bailey's 100% right, and I don't like it, but it's
You don't have to like it, and you don't have to be a Jedi.
That may be the way that may be what the philosophy means, but the interpretation of it has been too extremist. It can't be either or. Not if compassion is really at the root of it all.
No.
Because sometimes you have to make exceptions to the rules.
No.
Life is gray; it's not black and white.
I will tell you this. I see Josh's point, and no disrespect to Josh, but when it comes to the inner workings and the Space Wizards, I got to go with Bailey every time because, man, we've had hours. The first time I met her, we sat for like 4 hours and didn't even film anything. So, you know what? And I love it. Pete, damn it, Bailey. And he's got a bunch of crying faces after that. You're right. Look at nice, Bailey. Yeah. So there's a lot of people who see it your way as well. And I can see both points. And it's nice to finally get to get a little bit of discourse, pleasant discourse between you guys on that. So that's we'll probably touch on that probably very briefly one more time here when I get to that slide because it's towards the end. But
yeah,
Josh, we'll go back to you. I got a kick out of this simply because it's like, what is it? Star Wars rhymes. You always like to say.
It's poetry, man. It rhymes. I don't know. They're always just chill. That must be what his species does. It just rests on the backs of Skywalkers. But it is cool just sort of seeing this opposite situation where you've got the teacher now carrying the student around. But it would have been even cooler to have seen Grogu running around with Luke on his back. I'm just saying.
That would have been interesting for sure. Yeah, and I loved the crouching dragon, hidden tiger thing where he goes up the bamboo and they're standing.
Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah. Bailey, you and I have had discussions both pro and con on this kind of thing where, everything has to rhyme, but then sometimes some of these writers use it as a crutch. Were you happy to see that we're once again carrying a green large-eared thing around in our back?
Oh, yeah, I think this is funny. And you know what? I have a feeling that Yoda on the other side is laughing because, he could have convinced Luke, oh, yeah, this is old school Jedi training. Yeah, you kids it. You give each other piggyback, right? But, he's full of shit, so he's probably laughing on the other side. But, Yoda just wanted a piggyback ride, and he just told Luke, oh, yeah, this is the way we do it.
Right. Yeah, that fool still believes it. Look at him carrying Grogu around like a dummy.
Oh, yeah. So he probably carries hundreds of his students until maybe one day Yoda shows up and be like, hey, that's great and all, but you never had to do that.
I love that take, Bailey. That's awesome. Oh my God. The next, did he get the backpack at Babies R Us, right? Because it looks familiar. I love it. Bailey, we're going back to you because you know what's coming up next. This is once again your jam, girl. And
yes,
I think I know why they did this scene, but what did you think of it? And why do you think they did this lightsaber thing?
Because it's cool.
Yeah, because it's cool.
I don't think you need an intelligent reason. It's just cool. And again, I want to see more Luke with his green lightsaber. We don't see it in the future for some oddball reason, and this is Luke Skywalker to me, so it's just cool. That's all I got to say. It's cool, and that's why they did it, because it's cool.
Josh, how about you, man?
Oh, it is cool, but at the same time, I love that it shows that at least at this point anyway, Luke realizes that he's still learning. He still needs to practice. He still has work that he has to do. He's not just the master on the level that he can just kind of sit around and do nothing all day. Like he still has to keep himself attuned and in shape, so to speak. And I thought it was, and then it looked super cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Is there any other reason that we need besides it's cool?
He could have just held the hilt and just that legendary hilt with the thin part in the middle.
And just seeing that green blade, took me back to Jedi. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Dave said it because it's awesome. Been waiting since '83 to see that thing whipping around again. We got it a couple of years ago. It's been awesome. And I like the Empire and the helmets. And even I was like giddy when he started doing all this stuff. I'm like, yes. Really quick, Christian, I have to hit the hay. Great talking to you guys in all the chat. Great to see you.
Night, Christian. Get some sleep, man.
Yeah, good night. Get it when you can with a new baby, that's for sure. Linda, I like Luke wasn't in the alleged sequels. I would like Grogu to take both armaments. Yeah, there's take Luke's. Wow. There's some interesting takes on what he should do with that choice, and we're going to talk more about the choice towards the end of this episode because that's where it comes in at. I put this in here. It's not really plot specific, but I just got a kick out of it. Josh, the training remote shoots him, and he's like, falls back. What did you think, man? Are you cool with this?
Well, I thought it was great, and I love even better later when he gets his revenge on it and just kills that thing. Grogu, I love him, but he's not the best kid sometimes, and he might have kind of deserved a zap or two, so it's okay.
Luke, I thought it was pretty good. Get back up, always get back up. Bailey, is that the Jedi way to shock your apprentice with the training remote?
I feel like, this was Luke's way of being like, hey, and I get this being a teacher. Sometimes kids are they're lazy, y'all. And you're being like, do this. You can do better. You can do better. You can do better. That's it. And it's like, sometimes you got to light a fire in their ass. And that's what this is. It's like, I'm not just saying this for shits and giggles. I'm telling you, do this. And by the way, y'all forget, he's 50 years old. He probably already has some Jedi training under his belt. We don't know what he knows and what he doesn't know. So we don't know if he's playing dumb. We don't know if he's being lazy. We don't know because he doesn't speak English. And he doesn't speak. So to me, this was just Luke being like, all right, I know you can do this. So I'm going to,
And I'm sure he appreciated. Yeah. I'm sure he appreciated that Obi-Wan probably really enjoyed watching him get zapped.
Right? So, yeah.
At least he didn't blindfold the kid like Obi-Wan did him.
Right.
Which kind of makes Grogu deserve it a little more because it was right in front of his face. I mean, come on. What you get, kid?
You know what? And Bailey, you kind of touched on it. Tina mentions it, and Josh, I think you and I would agree on this. And Luke even says, "I'm not sure if I'm teaching him anything or he's just." Remembering. Bailey, did you catch that?
Yeah. I mean, again, this is tricky because we don't know a whole lot about his species with the aging process. Like, if it's like a human child, you can understand like by 12 years old they should know how to do this, and this, and this, and you can tell what they should know more than Where with him we don't know. But I feel like sometimes. It's like he probably does know, then he lets on. I mean, he could be playing everybody like, I look like a baby. So as long as I act like a baby, I get this and this. We don't know. I think that's going to constantly be a question that we're facing is what does he know and what does he not know? I guess that's something we'll have to see in the future.
Good point.
Well, and also if he's only like 2 years old after 50 years, and that would mean that Yoda was like 40. So why did he die? I think that I think there's a lot more to him as well, for sure.
He's always seemed a little young, even for his species at 50. Like he should be almost like a tween, at least, or a teenager, not this little baby thing. So, Josh, I want to go over to you.
It's probably trauma.
Yeah, who knows? The more he touches his head, he'll probably be speaking English next episode. In the prequels, we got to see a CGI Yoda. With a lightsaber, dancing around with the Emperor, dancing around with Count Dooku, excuse me. And it took me a while to get used to it. I'm not going to lie, because, I had been used to the puppet. And this time we get kind of the same thing, Josh, but they went practical effects. First of all, compare and contrast the two, and second of all, what did you think of how they did this scene?
Comparatively, I was excited that they were using the practical effect, but I could tell it was a puppet. It was much less organic looking. I kind of wish that maybe there'd been a little bit of a blending of the two, and I'm sure there was to a certain extent, but in some ways I kind of liked what we saw in the prequels a little bit better.
Okay.
It just, like I said, it felt more smooth. This was obvious when he would hit the ground, he would kind of scrunch, and you could almost tell there was like a hand inside of him sort of moving around. So I mean, while it looked more real, quote unquote, it didn't seem like it was actually a real creature doing it. It looked like a puppet doing it. So yeah, but I still loved it. I thought it was great. I was really hoping that we would get to see him kind of leap around a little bit and kind of do a callback to that, and just to show that, it wasn't just a species thing, but that was a Jedi thing. He's doing that because he's, got the Force. So yeah,
right.
That's my overall feeling on it.
Bailey, how did this scene leave? What kind of taste did this leave in your mouth?
It was fine. I mean, this was. I just enjoyed seeing Jedi Training. I wasn't really you guys pay attention to things I don't pay attention to, so.
And that's why I have the two of you here, because I have a tendency to look at weird stuff like that, and Bailey's like, Jedi Training, space wizards, thank you, so it's awesome.
You.
Yeah,
I'm still not complaining. It was still awesome.
Absolutely,
but I did notice. So
right, Jeff, I bet you could tell there was a hand inside him. That's for you, Josh. So John, I love you, but like math or something, and more math, and Grogu to math. Okay, cool. That hurt my head. And then, Josh, I started with you on the last one because I really wanted Bailey to get to start again on this one, because every time this episode, the whole time I was thinking, I know Bailey's got a smile on her face, and come on, girl. Just like your father, go. What do you got for me?
God, I mean, you talk about a single line, like just hitting you in the feels. That would be one of them. And like I said, this was always something I was hoping for to see, is Ahsoka interacting with the Skywalker twins in any form. I feel like we're going to get more elaboration, maybe in either Mandalorian season 3 or like in the Ahsoka show. There is definitely a lot more going on here. We're just seeing like a snippet of something bigger. But this was just so bittersweet. There's a lot going on in both of those people's heads that we don't know yet. And it's just so nice to see that, even though we don't know if Ahsoka has like made peace with like what Anakin has done yet. We don't know if she's able to commune with him on the other side. We don't know any of that. It's just so nice to see Ahsoka still be able to look at his son and be like, and still think fondly of him. So I just thought this moment was very sweet, and I do like that she didn't stay, that she like left. So that leaves a lot of ambiguous. Like, what is she up to? Like there's so many possibilities of what she could be up to, and I just enjoyed the scene, and I can't wait to see more. I think this is just a little snippet of what is to come in the future, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, you talk about two of my favorite characters being there. That's great. I thought this was fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite scenes.
I agree. Josh, before I go over to you, Shanti has to take off. She hates to dip out early, but I've been dealing with a migraine. Try to stay on as long as possible. We love you. Thanks, Shanti. She gives us a 20 out of 10. Yeah. And then, of course, P.S. Those two had a one night stand. That'd be an interesting looking little kid. That's for sure. Josh, I'd like to get your thoughts in general on this scene as well, because I just got a kick out of this, but I'm also going to add a finer point in there. And then Bailey, if you want to jump in on that after, again, by all means. He says something that leads me to believe that he's not 100% sure of himself, because he looks to her, and of course she's older and wiser, and he says, what should I do? Which gives us kind of like a crack in the arm. What did you think of this scene, and what did you think of that as far as his personality?
Well, that's kind of what I was going to touch on with this scene. Like I loved the scene, and I feel like a lot of that hopeful optimism is kind of coming through with the fact that she is looking at him and sort of smiling and thinking about Anakin. But at the same time, while she refers to him as Master Skywalker when speaking to others, that scene raises the question, who's the master and who's the student right there? And it kind of makes me wonder, is she his master? And is that why he's turning to her for advice? Has she been with him for most of the last 5 years and been training him to a certain extent?
Oh,
Again, like, I feel like there's a whole show that we could see with just between the two of them, and I'd love it. So yeah, I thought it was a great scene, and I loved seeing that there was still that doubt and vulnerability in Luke, but at the same time, that brings me back to the scene at the end when he is so absolute about Grogu needing to make that decision when he himself still has doubts. So I don't know. I feel like he's just walking down the same path of destruction that his forefathers did.
Well, let me ask you this specifically, Bailey, because I want to touch on the choice in and of itself later on, because that's going to be a great conversation. But this specifically, Bailey, Josh brings up an excellent point. She's many, many years his senior. Obviously,
right.
She's been around. She's done. She's seen. She was part of a Jedi Order that had tons of Jedis, and now it's just him. Is there a possibility? Do you think then, like Josh says, that she's maybe either officially or unofficially his master, helping him?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I can see it going either way. Dave Filoni has said that at this point in Ahsoka's life, she would be considered like a Jedi Master. And in the old Jedi Order, regardless of seniority and whatnot, if like Obi-Wan and Mace were still considered Jedi Masters, and there was an age gap there, so it could go either way. She could be teaching him. She could not be teaching him. Calling someone master, yes, it's a rank, but it's also just like, something they just say to each other. So it can go either way. Like I said, y'all, this is something that's going to be touched on later, but it could go either way. That's what I like about this episode, is it leaves a lot of possibilities open. So yeah, it could go either way.
Nice, because I didn't even think about that, Josh. That's a good point. Speaking of, hey, by the way, Josh, guess what? This is the Book of Boba Fett.
Are you sure they didn't let him talk? I'm just saying.
He got zero dialogue, and Finnick
looked more like the Book of Finnick. Yeah, exactly. But he was there, standing next to his boss, like he did when Jabba was around.
Right. I was like, okay. But so yeah, basically they decide, you know what? Hey, we got to go to where we don't have some foot soldiers. Din shows back up, and that's the first time we've seen somebody besides Moff Gideon call him by his real name. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
Yes, because Finnick said, this is the Mandalorian Din Djarin. And I was like, oh, she finna get shot. She better not call him. That's none of anybody's business. But, so he's making a cameo in his own show. So I got a kick out of that. He's obviously, they say, hey, we need some more people. He says, I can handle that. Josh, we'll stick with you. Did you get a kick out of this, or what?
Yeah, man. Pimp my sandcrawler. That's what it was. That's the most awesome hood ornament I've ever seen on anything in Star Wars. Yeah, it was excellent, and good on those Jawas for just being what they are.
Right? They're all like, "Woo-dee-dee!" waving at
it. They need to put it on hydraulics or something, so it could just kind of bounce through the desert.
Considering this is not your jam in any fashion, Bailey, and you never pay attention to this kind of stuff, I want to ask you, how the hell did they get that thing up there?
No idea.
Exactly. No idea, right?
What are the logistics of this, Bailey? Come on.
Right. Come on, man. How did they get that thing up there? It's got to weigh tons.
You know what? Maybe they have their own magic. We don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. There you go. There's John. Make that a toy. Make that your next HasLab project. We'll buy that thing for sure. Oh my God. So yeah, I got a kick out of this. He's spinning around him and they're all waving at him and everything. I was like, that's just fun fan service. Hey, there's where the Kraken's head.
They need to paint like flames down the side of it or something.
That's like a robot chicken thing right there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So we head back out to Mos Pelgo, and he meets up with Cobb Vanth. Bailey, what do you think's going on here? What did you think of at least their initial meeting and stuff like that? What's going on?
Oh, I think right now he's just. I think he has told Boba that, hey, I could get us some more manpower here. I'm gonna go to these people, and so he's kind of just coming here and telling Cobb, like, updating him on what's been going on and telling him what's about to happen, and can I get you a drink, like, then just catching up. And what's funny is, like, we all know what happens next later down, but I just knew right away that even though, like, they're just talking, I just knew, like, something was gonna happen. So yeah, so right now they're just talking.
Let's stick with the prequels. Did you get kind of a Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Boss Nass vibe? What happens to the Naboo is going to happen to you, because that's what he's doing. He's like, hey, what happens in Espo is going to happen here. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, I did, actually. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Josh, what did you get out of this scene? And did you notice something special about the bar here?
Yeah, the new decoration, the crate dragon rib cage that they have overhead. They need to put some, like, I don't know, some little tea lights or something, like whatever you call them around it. But no, I thought that was really awesome. But the bar's a little empty, so I'm wondering where everybody's at. I guess it's too early in the day for drinking, but yeah, no, I thought this was a great scene. You know, they're just sitting down there talking, and I love how the bartender chimes in periodically with, "No, we're not doing anything. We're done with it. We're not having any part in this." And it was very kind of classic Western sort of scene, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Two things really fast. First of all, there's Steve-O.
Hey, Steve-O.
Second of all, the king of dad jokes client. No bones about it. The bar has improved. So Stephen Pete, I love you, man. That's awesome. Oh, that's it. Jeff seems to think it's never too early for you to start drinking. There, Josh. So.
That is true.
Quick question. Yeah, that's me. I'm never gonna. Pete, I called him Deputy Dog. Were you disappointed that Mando didn't take off his helmet and have a drink with the man, since now he doesn't have to follow that creed, Josh, or did you even notice or care?
No, I don't. I think it's important to him. He wants to redeem himself in that respect, and I don't think he's going to take it off unless he absolutely has to again. Plus, it's just part of his air of mystique, you know. So he's got to look cool.
He's good at helmet acting, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey, do
you
have
like straws?
Yeah. Do you have an opinion on that, Bailey? Like why he's not taking off his helmet, or if he should have?
Not really. I mean, I think it's like Josh said, like it's clearly something important to him and he wants to redeem himself. So no, I was not at all surprised.
Yeah, you know, I didn't think about that. He did try to ask her, hey, how do I fix this? So he's probably still in right. Okay. So G-Force is one of us, Josh. He's like, okay, how did they get a full rib cage through the doors? A better question. Yeah, they rip it.
They had to break that thing down and then put it back together inside.
The same way they do it with the dinosaurs at the museum, G-Force,
exactly.
I guess, right? Yeah, there's a lot of Loctite going on there. Oh, Bailey, take a deep breath, because Mando flies off and he says, you know what, I'll consider it. And Cobb walks out and looks out into the desert, and damn, girl, what you got? Did you know it right off the bat when you saw it?
Yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard has said it, and it's so true, is all Star Wars characters have a silhouette, and I knew damn well, you see that silhouette, I was like, that's Cad Bane right there. And I said it, I don't know what episode I did, but I was like, I think Cad Bane's gonna be in the show, and what do you know, there he is.
I was so proud of you.
I was excited. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, Bailey called it. I got chills.
And I think I was the only one too.
You might have been. I think everybody else wanted to see Bosk and Dengar. And you're like, no, it's Cad Bane. Cad Bane's coming.
Bailey was right about something.
What?
Don't let it go to your head now. Come on.
Yeah. Back the camera. Let it go to your head.
Please.
No.
Everybody, narcissists are always allowed on this show, Bailey. You go, girl. Josh, when you saw that, what happened? What? Come on, man.
Oh man, yeah, I was super excited. Just like with Bailey, the silhouette gave it away instantly, and it was just such an awesome shot. Like the whole walk up was, very classic Clint Eastwood, and it was just, it was the good, the bad, and the ugly all over again. Like it was cool. I really enjoyed everything about this scene, yeah, his deputy kind of got what he deserved. That's all I'm going to say. That guy's an idiot. So, come on.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And Cad Bane looked so good. So good.
Yeah, we're totally going to get to that for sure. You know what? As soon as I was downstairs watching it earlier, And as soon as I saw the cell, I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" I actually said it out loud. I was so excited. I was so happy for you too, Bailey, because this was so awesome. And of course, he walks up and he's like, you get the iconic voice, and I'm starting to get chills. And then he looks up. And Bailey, what did you think of this?
He looks amazing. I mean, that's as perfect as you can get it, bringing this guy to life in the live action. And I know people were like complaining about his skin color or something, but like his species, that's how they age. So they just got everything like perfect. I loved it. They could have not done a better job.
While you're on the topic, how do you know? Because this guy was around for like the Clone Wars and stuff. How old would this guy be? And do you know anything about how old this species ages or anything, Bailey?
I mean, not like, no, like I'm not an expert by any means. And I don't know if we have like a clear age on Cad Bane. I don't know. Y'all can educate me in the comments. I know you will. But he would be fairly old because, yeah, he was kind of a, older, like he always came off older to me, even in the Clone Wars. And this is like, 30 years afterwards. So he would be pretty old. So yeah, if anyone has more information, go for it. But yeah, to me, this made sense, the way he looked.
Yeah, that's Gang Quiz, bro. I've watched this part of the episode so many times because of how cool he was. Josh, when he looked up and we finally got a good look at that face, what popped into your head, man?
That's cool.
No,
he looked great. Just the effects that they used on it, the makeup and everything was just beautiful. I will say I felt like the brim on the hat was a little small. But I mean, all in all, I was really, really pleased with the overall aesthetic of the character. And he looked mean. He didn't look silly. He looked menacing. He looked imposing. And those red eyes just really stood out. And I was very, very impressed with it.
Devil without a free his voice. Everybody's just like, his voice. I love the way he tried to make it some kind of moral high ground over Fett, right, Linda? I'm like, like you're a better guy or something. Duros can be around 300 years. I knew John would come in strong for us. Okay,
yeah, I know y'all will educate me.
Yeah. That was amazing. Let's see. He looked very good, very menacing. Tina agrees with you, Josh. This was just such a good scene. And I wanted to point out something. As you guys are well aware, I have a couple of friends who are in the business over there. And Casey, who's sometime in the comments with this, said that his face, there's nothing CGI or electric about it. It's actual prosthetic made by a company called Legacy Effects, EFX. I was just like, wow, man. Because you could even see like a little bit of spittle on his mouth and everything. I was like, man, come on, man. This is awesome. So I got a big kick out of that.
Yeah, it didn't look rubbery or anything at all. It looks very organic. The mouth and everything looked really good. Yeah, his teeth.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda. I saw that. I'm not even bothering with him now because you got him for me, girl. I appreciate that. And then, Bailey, let's go right back to you because come on, man. Did they get the costume right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't pay attention to things like this. But, yeah, he looked fine.
Okay, because I know you know more about him than I ever did. I didn't see him until we did the Bad Batch. And you guys were talking a little bit about his arms and stuff, but I just talking about the long, lanky, slim gunfighter. You know what I mean? Did they pull it off here for you, Bailey? Were you excited when you saw that too?
Oh yeah, I mean he's always had this like Western cowboyish sleek look. So nothing really he looks like Cad Bane.
There you go. Yeah,
they nailed it.
Perfect. Josh, first of all, what's your exposure to Cad Bane? How much do you know about him and in the lore and stuff like that? And then compare that to what you see here. Tell me a little bit about your background on that.
I mean, I watched Clone Wars and Rebels and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not a huge bounty hunter guy, but I did always think that he was a pretty cool looking character. I think that they definitely got the overall aesthetic down. His little gauntlets and everything. We were talking about on Left Coast stream right after the show aired. He doesn't seem to have his little rocket boots anymore, so I'm curious if there's a reason for that, because there is a shot where you can see his boots and they look different. But no, overall I think that they got it pretty spot on. Like I said, I wish the brim of the hat was just a little bit bigger, a little bit floppier. I always felt like it kind of was a little oversized, and that that could just be a part of the animation itself. But yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job with him. I was very pleased.
Nice. Bailey Gilster makes an excellent point that we talked about during Bad Batch. It seemed like toothpicks were standard issue to all the characters, and now he doesn't get a toothpick. Did you notice that?
Maybe Tatooine is too dry for a toothpick,
Right?
That shit would break, We know how it is here, Paul. We get dehydrated, so I don't want to stick a toothpick in my mouth in the summer.
Right? Oh my God, those teeth look like he chews beer caps for fun, right? I mean, they just nailed it, Tina. They did such a good job on this, and all the shots as they're talking are slowly, zooming in on them. Everything about this said space spaghetti western. I was just blown away. So I was actually. Bailey, once again, when he showed up, and then I was like, this is Bailey's episode. This is her jam right here. It was so cool. Welcome back, right?
I know. Thank goodness.
And then, of course, we have the gunfight, and everybody was saying it in the comments. The deputy got wasted pretty quickly, but from a gun perspective, obviously, you guys know I'm married to a competition shooter, and I know a little bit about guns. I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but I was wondering if you guys noticed this. I think we might have talked about it earlier. The deputy doesn't have his holster unsnapped. First of all, we call those types of holsters widowmakers, but that's beside the story. And that's why he never gets his gun out, because he's an amateur. And I thought that was an interesting way to contrast him to Cobb Vanth, who actually got his out, but still lost the battle. Did you guys notice that?
I totally noticed it. First thing, as soon as they showed that shot, I was like, that dude's not even going to get his gun out. And it, it plays back to what Cobb had said earlier. He's new, he obviously doesn't know what he's doing. Probably used to just be a farmer, and now he's carrying a gun that he obviously doesn't know how to use.
Yeah. So actually that's where we're going next. I don't think, let's take a quick poll amongst you three here, us three. I don't think Cobb is dead. Bailey, is Cobb dead or no?
No.
Yeah. Josh?
No. He'll be back.
Josh, the deputy, is he dead?
He is dead as hell.
He's not like that female Tuscan. He ain't coming back.
Yeah, no, that dude's pushing up daisies right now. Yeah.
Right. Bailey, you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I was asking for it. The dude would not shut up.
Well, I know. He told him to get back inside how many times? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, guess you're going to get a belly full of bullets. There you go.
Right. Oh, my God. Yeah, exactly. Off to the mod bar for Vanth. Yeah, so he's going to need a new shoulder
God,
for
I
sure.
hope not. Oh, God,
yeah,
no, don't put me through that again.
As long as he doesn't pick up a Vespa along the way, then
God, just kill me.
Right. Yeah, he's that G-force. Definitely not dead. I agree. Pete, yeah, he just got shot in his shoulder and he's down. And I learned Brandon, Apprentice Ewok's trick of watching it the first time in the headphones. You can hear one of them going over there screaming, grab a stim pack.
Yeah.
And then that's obviously some sort of medical thing, but then I was able to research and find that is something from the video game for how you heal people. So he's definitely alive.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. And I love how his bartender stands up. Yeah, there we go. Oh, good to see you, Sean G. Star Wars Tracker. Yeah, he's alive. Yeah. Richard's got, you don't see him die, he ain't dead. And hell, sometimes you see him die and they still aren't. So
if Maul can be cut in half and come back, so can he. Right. Anyone can come back.
If Palpatine can come back, he can come back.
Anybody.
You know what? Somehow Fennec Shand came back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that was a shooting arm though. So we'll see what happens. But I love it when his bartender stands up, and he wasn't in it. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it. He was telling the marshal not to do anything with it. But Josh, did you see that maybe he might have changed his mind when you look in his eyes?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And the bantha off to the side makes me wonder if maybe the Tuscans, I kind of wish we'd maybe seen some sitting around. I'm wondering if perhaps they kind of frequent the town a little more often now that they've sort of come to terms with each other. And I'm curious if that could end up sort of playing in with the possibility of Boba sort of joining all the different tribes.
Oh, yeah. Bailey, are you seeing something like that? Maybe we get the Tuscan Raiders involved, some of the other tribes?
He needs more muscle, man.
Yeah.
All his muscle keeps getting
care.
shot down, so.
I'm not a Tuscan. I don't care. I'm sorry, I'm not the lady to go to when it comes to the Tuscans, y'all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then I have a couple of questions because we go back to Mos Espa, and two of the Pike Syndicate guys walk in, and it looks like they're bringing a bribe, obviously, because they, or they're there to get their bribe. Josh, I'm going to start with you on this one. At the beginning of this scene, what did you think was going on? And be honest, did they get you?
No, I totally could tell something was up. As soon as they were offered the option to get their helmets polished, and they denied it, I was like, okay, they're not planning on staying very long. So what are they up to? And yeah, as soon as the droid picked that up, I was like, oh, I mean, it was a total, it's like a mob movie. I've seen it so many different times. The guy's like, oh, sir, you forgot your wallet. Boom. And then it just, so yeah, it's, I could totally see it happening. I was sad. This was the part where I cried in the episode when I saw Jennifer Beals explode, but I don't know who died and who didn't, but I have a sneaky suspicion that they're not all gone. No one's ever really dead.
No one's, it was fair. This is very Godfather. Bailey, because I'm not going to lie, they had me. They came in with the Camtono. I thought this was going to be some sort of money exchange, and we were going to see that. Is that what you got, or did you know that something was up?
Nah, they were going to blow up the place.
Yeah,
I mean, just the dead silence, the not ordering a drink, the not giving the helmets. Like, no, we're here to kill you all. So, yeah.
They weren't there to make ice cream, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. So when I picked up on it is when the dumb droid picks it up and goes, you forgot your Camtono. And about the time I'm like, it's a bomb, Jennifer Beals' eyes. Oh, no. Yeah.
But the fact that she had a last moment realization makes me wonder if perhaps she...
Another nice lady dies in Star Wars for no reason.
But she may have, dove behind something or whatever that could have potentially... She might come back all modded up or something.
Well, hold on. Let's do this again. Let's call it right now. Josh, Jennifer Beals' character, Garza Hux or whatever her name is.
Garza Fwip.
Garza Fwip, dead or alive?
I'm going to go alive. I'm going to go with my hope.
Bailey, how about you?
We're talking about the woman?
Yeah. Garza Fwip. She alive or dead? Okay.
Because she's the lady. So, sorry, I have to go by the evidence that I have seen in other, projects.
Yeah, okay. Star Wars rules, women and children first. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. And then everybody has the dying bed arc. I'm going with she's alive. Not to be contrary to you, Bailey, but I
would like her to. Don't get me wrong, I want her to, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it.
Right. And then of course Sean puts out what everybody else was noticing. I love how Max Rebo was casually not shown in this scene. Max Rebo lives again, right, you guys? For sure. The droid didn't live. Can we all agree on that?
No. Yeah, that dude's toast.
Yeah. Tina thinks Carson's alive. Scuba Pete, yeah, she's coming back and she's pissed. So that's okay. That's good. I'm glad that Pete said that because, Josh, I'd like to start with you. Why did the Pikes blow up her bar? Do we know why, or do you have conjecture on that?
I think because she was the only one that was playing nice with Boba Fett, and they wanted to hit him where he lives, basically, and show that they're gonna terrorize him as much as possible, and they know where his money comes from, and they're gonna cut it off at the roots. So,
okay, Bailey. Is that what you got out of why they blew up her bar? Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, no, I was just fixating on the comment you got there.
Back to that, right? Yeah.
I feel like this is a total, we're establishing dominance. We're in charge now. This is total, warfare, petty warfare. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I think my conjecture is that we need a plot device. That's a strong term. We need a reason for Garza Fwip to pick a side, and now she's.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So I think
she'll survive this, and she'll pick Boba's side because they forced her to.
Well, it's about 50-50 in the chat, Bailey. 50% agree that she's dead because you guys are smart Star Wars fans and you know how it works, and then the other 50 are like, no, she's alive. So I'll be interested to see what happens. Yeah, or Rolando. So they're just going after Boba's turf. Well, fair enough. That's probably a good reason too. So biggest money maker.
It's a typical mob thing. Yeah, you go and blow up the businesses that your rival family is getting kickbacks from in order to put a dent into their bottom line.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Okay. Yeah, and then Tina said something up here. Is that what they call it? Yeah. Every time I'm on someone's show, Tina, by the way, they ask me about how I keep my helmets clean, and the double entendre starts from there. So we're going to skip that. Yeah, Max was in quarantine for sure. Oh, boy. So we go back to the planet that Luke and Grogu are on, and he's got him now in the completed temple. And Josh, I was happy for Bailey because she saw Cad Bane coming about 600 miles back. But I asked you what was in that thing without hesitating, without, you said
Mithril. Yeah, I mean, it's totally
Right?
chainmail, man. I
Yeah.
mean, that it's a little chainmail shirt for him, and he's gonna have a little belt and little hat, and it's gonna be awesome because he's totally gonna pick it,
Right.
or he's gonna grab both of them and run. I can see that too, because that's Grogu for you.
Oh, God. Bailey, everybody was guessing. I mean, the ringlets kind of gave it away, but I thought they were going to make it ringlets to throw you off in the wrong direction. But it turns out it's like a little male shirt. What did you think of this?
I wasn't surprised. I figured it'd be something like that, something for him to wear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was a little shocked when it turned out to be exactly the most obvious choice, to be perfectly honest with you. So, all righty. Well, we're getting through this one. We have one last scene I want to talk about, you guys, if you don't mind, and I want a prediction here. And Bailey, I'd like to start with you because I've been picking on Josh for the last couple of times here. At Joe Blake, that doesn't look protective at all. Yeah, well, I guess it depends.
No.
Yeah, yeah, right. So Luke lays out both of them, and you guys, you've been through the scene, you know what I mean? And Josh, I know kind of what your opinion is, but I want you to reiterate it and then build on that. But Bailey, I'd like to start with you. 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the right way to handle this with this little kid? And
Yes.
what does he pick?
I'm going with yes.
Okay.
Because again, consent is a huge thing. It's all being a Jedi is all about being a choice. Like even in the beginning, nobody like came for you if you decided to leave. Nobody abducted you. It's always a choice. And this is a very reasonable conversation to have. Like Din is coming, and Luke is sensing that Grogu probably misses him. And so what this conversation is him just reevaluating, like, are you sure, like, you chose me back on the ship in Mandalorian, but is this still something you want to do? Like, I want to just make sure your heart is in it, because if your heart isn't in it completely, then disaster might strike. And Luke is trying to prevent what just happened, what he just stopped. So this is a reasonable conversation to have. And I see you shaking your head up there. Don't even.
This is the same reason that. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
No. Okay. Anyway, so this is a reasonable, and he's saying like, hey, basically your dad came to see you again, and this is what he gave you. You can have this. You can have that life. You really can. I am not holding a gun to your head or a lightsaber or whatever. You can go to him, but understand that you can't have both, or at least not now. I mean, Grogu is a child. There's no reason for him not to want to be with Din. Like, I am not disagreeing with that. Like, it's reasonable for essentially a 5-year-old kid to want to be with Din. He loves Din, but at the same time, he also chose Luke. So this is just him reassessing what he wants. So he can say this, but Luke is saying, if you choose the Jedi path, understand that this is like, it's dedication. The galaxy is a dangerous place. People are relying on us. With great power comes great responsibility. And remember, you're going to outlive too. And that's just part of growing up, is people come and go in life. That's not an unreasonable conversation to have. But again, I understand that Grogu is young, okay? So if he wants to have a relationship with Din now and be with him and eventually rejoin the Jedi path, that's available to him too. He's probably going to live to be like 900 years old.
Is it available to him though? It seems to me like Luke's giving him a very, it's now or never decision. And again, like, why do the Jedi continue to doubt their pupils? He made the decision to come with him, so have faith that he is dedicated to the cause and let him visit his friend. It's the same reason that Ahsoka left the Order. So
Grogu is a child right now. I mean,
well, so was she at the time.
She left, and then she became an adult and had life experience, and she reevaluated and chose that life for herself again. Again, this is not
no, she didn't choose it for herself again. She told Din Djarin she's not a Jedi. So she's not choosing to be a Jedi. She sees that there's somewhere in between, and that the path that they were on before was a path to destruction. And I'm shocked that she's supporting Luke and following that same path again. She sees doubt in him.
I mean, whatever. She's still using the light side of the Force, and she's wielding lightsabers.
No,
and
she's just
communicating
using
with
the
Luke,
Force. There is no light or dark side. There's just the Force. That's what people fail to realize. How you choose to use it is what's light and dark. But the Force just is.
No. I'm only going off of what George has stated regarding of the Force. But anyway.
George isn't in charge anymore.
George made Star Wars. We would not be sitting here without George. So regardless,
I'm telling
of
you,
whether
only the Sith deal in absolutes. I'm just saying. That's all I can say.
Call me a Sith one more time and see what happens. See what happens. No, I'm fucking serious. See what happens.
Right? I love that you guys see this differently. It's really cool, to be honest with you, because I didn't know how to feel about this, frankly. So that's an interesting take on it,
Well,
Bailey.
I feel like Luke is starting the same. Luke is beginning a trend of behavior that is ultimately going to lead him to what it leads him to, which is his own students turning against him because of his lack of faith in them. That's exactly what happened to Kylo.
Right.
Luke didn't believe in him, and what did Kylo do? He burned it all to the ground.
Well, let me go back to Bailey really quick here, Bailey. I see some very good points in what you're saying. That's an interesting way to put it, for sure, because it seems all or nothing to me. But that's, maybe that there is that kind of that gray area. But as of right now, I need your prediction. What does Grogu take? What do you think?
I think Grogu might want to be with Din. I can see it going either way. He's a child. Maybe that's what he wants right now. But I don't believe it's all or nothing. This creature is going to outlive everybody that we see in this show.
Right.
He can go back to it at any time. Maybe right now having a relationship with Din is what's important to him. So he might choose that. We don't know.
Right.
He can also choose the lightsaber and learn to control his power, and then he can see Din. I mean, we don't know. I can see it going either way. But I'm not going to sit here and hear this all or nothing stuff. I don't think that's what it is. It's just I can't help but notice that your heart's not in the training. You chose me before. Your dad came to see you. He gave you this gift and it's available to you. Do you want this? Yes or no? That's not an unreasonable conversation to have, because again, having the power he has is not something to take lightly. So I think it can go either way.
It's a shirt. Why can't he have the shirt his dad gave him? Come on now. Pick your battles, Luke. I mean, is it that big of a question? And I don't know. And also maybe Grogu likes the fact that his daddy brought him something new. Luke's just giving him some old hand-me-down lightsaber,
You know what? Because you may not hear it, you guys, but that's where you guys actually agree. He should be able to put the shirt on and keep going with his Jedi training, or vice versa. Yeah, at least you guys see that. Why does it have to be?
Why does there have to be a choice?
Yeah, I got the impression that, and I might be wrong, Bailey, because you're helping me see this in a different light. I got the impression Luke was like, all right, because Ahsoka told him, trust your instincts. And I think for some strangers, and his instincts went right back to what we don't think is a good idea, and it's all or nothing. And we've talked, that was the theme last time, extremes. So which one does he choose, Josh?
I think he's going to choose Din Djarin. I think he's going to choose the chainmail. I do.
Yeah, I think he's going to pick up the chainmail and bounce too, because that's the easiest, or not the easiest. That's the most logical story to tell, and then Luke will be part of something else. So I don't disagree with either of you.
He'll rejoin the clan, and then he will master the Darksaber and rule Mandalore.
Oh.
Well, think about it. Luke did make the point to tell him size matters not. And what did we see in all of the, or not all of it, but in a portion of the last episode was Din and Paz Vizsla struggling, these big bulky dudes struggling to wield this lightsaber. So maybe the little guy is going to be the one that just picks it up and starts twirling around like it's a feather.
I could see that. I could totally see that. So, but yeah, I think for the foreseeable future, it's going to be the shirt. Josh, you're saying the shirt, and Bailey, it could go either way. Is that what you're going with?
It can go either way. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Fair enough.
I think it could. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I got a kick out of the fact that there is actually something that, because for the most part, you guys have agreed within percentages of each other, but there's some definite dissension is not the right word, but you guys definitely come at this choice thing from a different angle, and that was really cool to see. I appreciate that.
I did have one question though. Like, did Yoda leave that to Luke in his will, or did Luke just ransack Yoda's house after he died and just took what he wanted?
Yeah, we call that a post-mortem burglary. Is
that what that was?
Yeah. Luke went back to the hut and said, "Don't nobody know he's here. I got
like that.
Yeah, I'll take this, and I'll take this." Yeah. Oh man. Oh, let's see here. But I tell you, the funny thing is, the chat's split right down the middle with you guys. Bailey, 50% of people are like, "Yep, no, Bailey's seeing this right." Josh, the other 50% are with you. I'm the post, so I get to go right up the middle. I thought he was giving him a specific choice, but now Bailey's got some good points as well. It gives you something to think about.
Well, think about it, guys. Again, in life, you make choices all the time. And I don't know if we're just living in a selfish society or what, but you can't always get everything that you want all the time. Sometimes you have to make a hard choice. And you can eventually go back to something if you want, but sometimes you can't,
Well, if you can go back to it, it's not a hard choice though. I mean, like if there's that option to just come and go, then that doesn't really show the dedication that a Jedi should have. So again, I feel like Luke was giving him a very absolute now or never, this is final kind of decision. And again, I feel like that sort of absolution is not what the Jedi should be about, and ultimately is what led to their failure. They're so caught up in themselves and their rules and what they think is right. It's the reason that they didn't see the Sith just sneak right up behind them and pull the rug out from under them.
Well, they were able to survive 1,000 years just fine.
They were blinded by their arrogance. The Sith did too.
Josh, I am going to strangle you.
Just saying.
Oh, I love you guys. You two are awesome. I appreciate it. Oh man. So long story short,
are you going to choke me with the Force? That's a very Sith move. I'm just
no, because I'm not a Sith. Just pettiness.
She's going to get in a rental car, and you're going to get a Oh my God. You two are awesome. I appreciate both of you. This has been a blast. So with that, I think we all can agree that I don't care. I'm not really worried about what's going on with Boba Fett. I just want to see more of what's going on with the rest of these characters. I think we all can agree on that at least, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, my brother put it best last episode. We got to go hang out with our cool cousin who goes places and does fun things. And at the end of it, we're like, oh, yeah, I got to go back home to my dad, Boba Fett now. So, yeah.
But I still just want to know why it is that these two episodes that have had basically nothing whatsoever to do with the title character were such a marked improvement in the overall production and storytelling in comparison to the first 4 episodes. I don't, that's my beef with the whole thing, is I feel like they could have done a better job with those first 4 episodes. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure what to point out exactly to be the issue. It may be a combination of a few things, but just these last 2 episodes, it's been like a completely different series.
Yeah. Well, didn't Filoni do this one? And
Filoni did this one, and Bryce Dallas Howard did the last one. So directing could very much be a possibility, but that there's also the lighting and the cinematography and the writing. I just feel like the storytelling is a lot stronger in these 2 episodes as well. Now, granted, they're getting more to the guts of the story, but I just feel like the first 4 episodes were almost pedestrian in comparison.
Agree. Absolutely agree. Jason says something pretty interesting here. If they bring an adult Omega into this next episode, I'm going to pass out in my chair because I don't think I'll be able to handle any more of that.
That's the one I was hoping for. I want Omega to show up in this. I want to see Boba meet his sister, either in here or in Bad Batch, one of the 2.
Absolutely. Bailey, if they brought Omega into this series in some fashion, how would you feel about that?
Whatever.
Just whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Really quick before we move on.
That's what I thought too, Gilster. Yeah.
I think I know the answer.
He lost it fighting Palpatine, didn't he?
He did, but apparently in some comics afterwards, on Dagobah, he builds another one. So in some comic books is what I read. Because I believe it or not, you guys actually do some research on this. So hopefully I'm mildly informed when I try to do this. But I was watching one of the YouTube's recounts that said, there was a comic book that shows him building another one. So he would have one just in case, I guess. And I think that's the one that Luke got from his hut, in the post-mortem burglary. So that's where that went, Gilster.
So either way, Luke definitely still robbed a dead man. Okay.
It's burglary. Robbery is something else.
That's right. That's right. Burglarized a dead man.
He burglarized
Semantics, Paul. Semantics.
Yes, I know. For those of you who've been with us since the beginning, if you joined in the middle or you're just getting here, or if you're watching us on the replay, we greatly appreciate it. This has been, and Tina puts it best, just about to get slapped. This has
I'm
been
used to it.
Yeah, right. This has been a fun episode to watch, to talk about, and we finally got a little back and forth from Josh and Bailey on this one, as far as what Luke was talking about. But we're here every Thursday. I think we have one more episode, you guys. Next episode is episode 7, and we're done. And we'll have a little special treat for you for episode 7. It'll be slightly different format. It'll be a lot of fun, I think. But here next week, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to break down the last episode, and we'll, I guess I can let the cat out of the bag. We're going to have some special guests that will join us on that episode as well. So we hope to see you with that on that one as well. But with that, oh wow, I thought we were going fast. We're at an hour 40 already, Bailey. Sorry, I'm trying to get you out of here a little quicker. So, Josh, before I start winding us down and before I finish up, you know how I like to do. Anything else? Any last words that you wanted to get out or that I missed, giving you a chance to talk about?
No, I think we did a nice, thorough job on this one. I just really loved the episode. It was all around. It was just Star Wars on every level. We got the Western, we got the fantasy, and it was, loved it.
Abs cannot lie. 1 to 10, this episode only, Josh, where you at?
I'd give this one a 10.
Nice. Bailey, any last thoughts? Anything we didn't get a chance to get out before we head out of here?
No, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Nice.
And I don't think I've ever given anything a 10 before, by the way.
No,
not on the stream. No.
I don't think you've even given anything a 9. I think 8's your highest one. Yeah.
No.
So, yeah. And if you go down the comments, we're split right down the middle. Some Bailey, some Josh. I love you both. You're both awesome. I'm going with 9.5 on this. And what would have been a 10? Some stormtrooper helmets on a pole somewhere or something like that, just to get the Empire in there for me. So definitely an excellent episode for sure, you guys. And I didn't do the thing in the comments where people give us their numbers because I'm not trying to be that guy, but 15 out of 10, 10.0, 8.5 out of 10, 10. We knew that was coming. Everybody loved this episode on the internet, and everybody got a kick out of it. Linda, 9.5, right? And she didn't have to hear, I'm Boba Fett a bunch of times. Oh, my God. But with that, I think I can speak confidently on behalf of Josh and Bailey, and we appreciate everybody who joined us tonight, helped me in the chat with the comments. Once again, I want to apologize to Wizzy Wiz and Tina for accidentally you guys getting muted last time. Linda, thank you very much for fixing that for me and bringing it to my attention. But it's been great. It's been an absolute lot of fun. Yeah, you're going down like that. 10 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, right? I mean, come on, this was an excellent episode. So with that, I'm going to slowly get us on out of here. But as always, we're going to end on tradition. Bailey and Josh, we will see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.